All right, hello. All right, hello, and welcome to another live. I hope everyone is doing well and keeping safe. If you're new to the space, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, listener, subscriber, welcome back. And so we know by now, that Hurricane Beryl has, given Jamaica a good battering. And so with all that, we are now trying to move forward in the context of recovering. And so for a lot of us, we're still without power. By now, some of us were able to connect better with family members and friends, or at least hear from them, or, in the general area where they are living, just to get a sense of what is happening. So in this live, I have some information that I want to share with you guys, all right, in the context of JPS and other updates, even from the Prime Minister, in the context of some of their plans regarding the recovering process, all right, the recovery process in Jamaica. And so I just want to welcome you to this conversation. And of course, you get the opportunity to call in and share, updates that you may have, or you can share in the live chat as well. That would be definitely, welcome. All right. So again, welcome. And we would love to hear from you. All right. So in the context of, the recovery, the Prime Minister, he himself, went out to do some assessment. So let us just go to that video and then we'll take it from there.
We took off from Upper Camp, which gave us an opportunity to see Kingston Harbour and possibly a little bit into the Bull Bay area. What we saw was some amount of impact from storm surges, and you can see that by some amount of flooding on the coastal areas, but not flooding to the point of significant damage. So Kingston was largely spared. We started to see damage to residents when we started to enter areas like Old Harbour and Alligator Pond and here, where I was literally counting in Great Bay and the general Treasure Beach area about 100 homes that suffered roof damage. And then being on the ground, you get to see another dimension of the damage, which would be the fallen poles, trees, and some roads that are blocked. Now, for the residents who live in these areas, who are inconvenienced and displaced and dislocated, this is serious, and the government will act in a speedy way to assist the recovery process. But from a national level, I think Jamaica was spared the worst. We were hit by a Category 4 hurricane. It would appear to me that the damage would be less than what we expected from a Category 4 hurricane. So I think we were spared. I think all Jamaicans should be giving a collective thank you.
All right, so that's the Prime Minister there, just sharing in the context of, what he saw, while he was there in terms of, flying over. And then, from what he said, Kingston, they were spared because there wasn't any significant damage done to Kingston. But of course, he mentioned in this clip here, Old Harbour, Alligator Pond, Treasure Beach, and of course, Clarendon, along the coast there, Rocky Point, Mitchelltown, Portland Cottage, and I am not too sure in the context of Milk River, but we got some updates yesterday, and we can see that sections of Milk River is flooded, and it appears as if the river has, overflown, and it's like all the way into the road. So I suspect like from that area, Scott area, going to the Milk River Mineral Bath into the Parker Beach area, absolutely it's going to take some time for persons to get there. So I hope that the persons living in that area in Milk River close to the beach, they evacuated that area because based on what we saw just from some videos from that community, it wasn't looking so good in that context. So, Ruren, you're here. So, before we move on, just want to welcome you. How are you doing?
Hello, Natasha. Let me know if you're hearing me.
I'm hearing you. How are you?
Awesome. I'm not doing too badly. I'm relieved that the hurricane has passed, and I'm thinking that, Jamaicans in general, they're starting to get their lives back to some sort of normalcy because of, what has happened. But it's good to hear from the Prime Minister as well, and, I join him in saying, we should give lots of thanks based on the size of that hurricane. It could be a lot worse. So, that's pretty much how it's going. And, how are you doing, Natasha? I didn't ask.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
No worries. So it's kind of like that. Persons are able to get into some areas that they weren't able to get into. Lots of roads, you know, have been reduced to single lane traffic, but at least persons are able to traverse a little bit. But the recovery process is going to be long, but we're happy that not a lot of loss in terms of lives. Wish if there hadn't been any, but we have to be thankful just the same. Back over to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much there for sharing. And we're going to go back to the Prime Minister of Jamaica again in the context of, the recovery process, because he's also sharing that there is going to be a level of transparency in the distribution of hurricane relief. All right. And so what he's saying is that pretty much it has to be structured, and there should be the highest standards of accountability in that context. So let us now go to the Prime Minister.
We took off from Upper Camp, which gave us an opportunity. In the past, there has been a less than structured way in the delivery of emergency relief. And that has led to criticisms about the transparency, even accusations of political bias in the dispensation and distribution of relief to needy citizens. It would be a real travesty if such criticisms were made, having regard to our track record in COVID, where we distributed the largest care package in the history of Jamaica, and there has not even been one complaint about any form of political bias. So I want to assure Jamaica that whatever we do, there must be systems of accountability and transparency. There is a culture that is deeply embedded in some of our people where there is the expectation that public resources should just be given and there shouldn't be any system and process of accountability. Now, I understand that we are in an emergency, but an emergency does not suspend the need for accountability and transparency. So even in an emergency situation, there will be a process. And I'm saying this for the benefit of the members of parliament, of the technical officers in the ministry, and for the beneficiaries themselves who will be eagerly awaiting the public benefit. We don't intend to be called up in parliament by the specified authorities to say that funds were not spent in accordance with the law. Then we are accused of being corrupt, with no mention that there was an emergency. And so we don't intend to go down that road. So there will be a process for any benefit, no matter how small it is, that will be given in a relief package, which means that anyone receiving a benefit must put their signature down for it. There must be a valid ID for it or somebody to vouch for the identity of the person. So whatever the government allocates we must be able to trace every cent to the beneficiary. It mustn't end up in anyone else's pocket who was not the intended beneficiary. Now, these things may add layers to the process and it may take time, but it is absolutely important for the stability and strengthening of our democracy and accountability that this be done. And so I just want to put that out there for everyone who may be expecting a free for all. There will be no free for all in the dispensation and distribution of public resources in the relief process.
All right, so welcome again, the Prime Minister. They're sharing, that in the context of the hurricane relief, we can expect, that there's going to be a process of accountability. And in that context, it may take a little bit of time because there might be layers. And so what he's sharing is that they don't want to be labeled, or, they don't want the specified authorities or anyone to label them as a corrupt government. So it is in that interest and given those considerations that, whatever benefits that are going to be available, it goes to the person or the persons who really need the benefit. And so, signatures, identification cards are a system in terms of ensuring that this is a person. So if there is anything that needs to be traced, then, the system is there to trace it back to the beneficiary. And so again, with these checks and balances, things may take a little bit more time, but that's what we're getting from the Prime Minister. Ruran, do you have anything to share in this context before we move on to some JPS updates?
Yes, Natasha, I would like to add my voice on this one. It's good that the whole process of accountability will be added to this one because, for lots of times in these situations, persons have complained that the distribution of relief is not being, done properly. Persons are, unable to access these relief. So with this sense of accountability, and I'm hoping that this works very well, each and every person who needs, need the support. I am hoping and trusting that they will be able to access the necessary items that they would need. So I think it's a step in the right direction. And I'm hoping that persons who are responsible for these reliefs also ensure that, it goes out to the person who is supposed to get it. And the person who gets it, will be appreciative too, and persons do not try to take stuff that they don't necessarily need and deprive others of it. So that's my few words on what he said. So good move by the PM.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Like, good points there, Ruran. My only somewhat of a concern is in the context of persons who may need some immediate assistance. So I hope they have like a contingency plan in that context. But for sure, accountability is definitely important. And so I suspect that they'll be able to respond to short-term, challenges, need immediate assistance. But then, things that are going to take a little bit more time, perhaps replacing a home, something like that for sure is going to, I guess, definitely needs to go through that system that they will have set up. All right. So, and let us now just go quickly to some updates here from JPS, and I am going to open the phone line in a little bit. All right, but just wanting to share with you. All right, so in the context of JPS, they have provided some updates in terms of locations, parishes where power is restored, and that's fantastic because we need this information. This is what we want to hear. That's a start. That's a plus. That's a positive, in terms of moving moving forward. And so we want to start out in terms of the areas in which, power is restored. So based on the information that they have shared, sections of, and this may mean that not all section in this particular area, all right, may have electricity because just by the big words, your sections of, to me, I read into that saying, okay, Vogue, it might not mean all of Vogue, but sections of, all right? So St. James, sections of Vogue, Freeport up to Lagoons, Fairfield, Tucker, Irwin, Montego Bay Town, West Green, Retirement, Unity Hall, Great River, Private, and Alice Eldermeyer Drive. All right, so St. James, those are the areas that we have. And as you enter, guys, please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. Let us continue to grow stronger together. All right, so let's go over to St. Thomas. And again, sections of this looks like Belvedere, Friendship, Belfast, Morant Bay, Church Corner, sections of Retreat, White Horses, Whitehall, Ponside, sections of Yallas, Prospect to Port Morant, Seaford to Soho, Whitehall, Golden Valley, Middleton, Spring Garden, Summit, Highbury, Logan Lane, Roselle, and South Haven. All right, so some places there in St. Thomas, and hopefully I'm getting those names correctly. After all, Anna St. Thomas may comes from. All right, so St. Thomas, let us now just continue to some other areas where electricity is being, or areas where electricity power is restored. All right. And over in Kingston and St. Andrew, let me just move this here to see my screen. I'm just trying to fix something here on my screen, guys. All right. All right, so over in Kingston and St. Andrew, and again, areas where power is restored based on the latest updates from JPS, and please pay attention to sections of. All right, so it may not necessarily mean in the entire area, but sections of. Again, as you enter, please remember to hit the like button, the subscription button, and of course the share button. All right, so Kingston and St. Andrew, sections of Old Hope Road, all right, sections of Shortwood Road, Barbican, Norbrook, East Kings House Road, Graham Heights, Golden Spring, Stony Hill, Oak Ridge, Armor Heights, this looks like Lakehurst, Stillwell Road, Manor Park, Constant Spring, Avondale, Plymouth, sections of Cherry Gardens, Long Lane, Jacks Hill, Queen Hill, sections of Temple Hall, Duany Park, sections of Mona, Beverly Hills and Long Mountain, Queen Hill, Sterling Castle, Red Hills, Shortwood Road, Oliver Road, Millsboro, Hapeen, UTEC, Gordontown Road, this looks like Rampton Drive, Deanery Road, Piccadilly or Marasca Road, including Ministry of Health and NWC, Ministry of Education, Orange Street, and Newport. All right, so that's in St. Kingston and St. Andrew. All right. Over there in Trelawney, sections of Stewart Castle, Springfield, Florence Hall, Clarkstone, Jacksontown, Braco, Rio Bueno, Duncans, Prospect, Spicy Hill, Harmony Hall, and Silver Sands. All right, so those are some areas there in Trelawney. All right, so this again areas where JPS has restored power. All right, let's just move on. Let's go over to St. Catherine, all right, again, where JPS has restored power. So you should be able to reach out to your loved ones if they're in these areas, all right? Sections of Spanish Town, so St. John's Road, Job Lane, Beacon Hill, St. Jago Heights, Thompson Pen, Sligoville, Waterloo District, Greendale, Old Arbor Town, Marlymount, Gutters, Old Arbor Bay, Bushy Park, Springville, New Arbor Village 1, 2, and 3, so I guess phase 1, 2, and 3, Claremont, Claremont Heights, Charlemont Gardens, Roan Park, Bannister Road, Red Ground, and now they have sections of Bartons, Colbeck, Bodles, Big Lane, New Arbor Village, Old Arbor Square, Claremont Heights, Darlington Drive, Old Arbor Glades, Greater Portmore, Brayton, Westport, Port Endison Road, Bridgeview, Passage Fort, the commercial complex of Port Endison Road, Bridgeport, Edgewater, Port Endison Road, Bridgeview, Passage Fort, the commercial complex of Port Endison Road to supply up to Mega Mart, all right, Waterford, Portsmouth, Westchester, Independence City, Newlands Road, Cumberland, Garveymead, Westmead, Southborough, Grange Lane, Portmore Town Centre, Dyke Road, and Cedar Manor. All right, so again, areas where JPS has restored power. All right, so that's St. Catherine. Welcome, Errol. Welcome. Hello to you there. Thanks for being here. Guys, you come over, hit the like button, hit the subscription button, and share. Tell some persons to come on over. We have some JPS updates for you. All right, and other updates as we have been sharing. So just share and let's keep growing in numbers. All right, so let's just continue to grow stronger together. Again, this is just a quick update of what we have to share. And it's easier to come here too sometimes so that other persons can have access to this information. So tell a friend to tell another friend to come on over right now. All right, let's move on to this looks like Portland. All right, so again, areas where we have, power restored. So for Portland, Hope Bay, Orange Bay, Buff Bay, and Hart Hill. All right, so Portland, those are the areas. And then over in St. Mary, this looks like, and you can correct me, Itabaril, Anota Bay Town leading to the Anota Bay Hospital, Highgate Town to Ranch Hill, Highgate to sections of Fort Maria, such as Lanromney, Comsey and Harmony Hall. Boscobel to Ocean Ridge includes the Boscobel Resort and sections of Richmond Town. All right. Anne-Marie Brown, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So guys, remember to hit the like button, share button, and subscription button. All right, Clarendon. So again, these are the areas in Clarendon where JPS has restored power. Thomas Cross, Bustamante Highway, Bodles Pen, and Freetown. All right, so Clarendon, those are the areas. All right, and let's just continue here. All right, so now over to, so those are the areas. So now we're going to look at the areas where JPS is working. All right, so hopefully as time goes on. So today, this is as of today, where they're working in terms of trying to get the electricity back, the power back, all right, so that we can have access to, light and, our food in the fridge, will not be, hopefully we don't have to waste that. So let's definitely see. All right. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. And guys, I just want, I don't know, persons have been like kind of asking how best we can perhaps help somebody at this point. A lot of persons need help. And so, I don't know. And that the government, they're going to work to help some persons. So I guess, we'll perhaps kind of wait and see how, things pan out. But, we are always here to help and support as best as we can. So if we're going to kind of, would have to think about it strategically in terms of, where would like to help and who. And so, we have a goal here to help students. So, that would be important to us in terms of moving forward. So, we have that in our mind, but we just want to see how things unfold. And assessments are still being done. So we want to see, well, I mean, our platform is really, really small, but if we can help one person, whatever it is, even to organize like food or something, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so St. Thomas. All right, so this is where JPS has been working today. All right, so we're going to look at the areas where JPS is working. So perhaps by now, hopefully some of these areas, might have gotten, back power, but we'll just hopefully. All right, so sections of Soho, South Haven, Phillip Avenue, Top Hill or Needham Pen, Poinciana, Bath, Whitehill, Spring Garden, Middleton, Dumfries, Summit, Nuts River, Duany Pen, Lloyds, Newlands, Paradise, Landuany, License, Leith Road, Trinityville, Prospect Pen, Main Road, and surrounding areas. So that's where JPS is working in St. Thomas today. So if you're in St. Thomas, you should see JPS, in your area. Over in Clarendon, JPS is working in the area. So Manchester Avenue, as Osborne Store, that should be Osborne Store. All right, Osborne Store. When you come from country, the country area is better. Clarendon Gardens, River Road, Maypen Hospital. So hopefully by now, Maypen Hospital, they can get some power because, that is definitely important. I know those are priority areas for, JPS. They're going to try to get the health facilities, so the hospitals, and I guess then they move on to the business community. So they have, priority areas. Over in Westmoreland, JPS, they're working. Okay, Savannah Lamar Hospital. So SAV, they're still working to get your hospital, up and running again with power. And as we know from, the lives that we have been having, there was some pole that was down in front of the hospital, I guess, blocking the main entrance. So that would have caused, I guess, some significant amount of damage to the power supply there. So JPS there working. Roaring River to Great River Pumps, Paradise to Darling Street, and Landilo to Kingswood. So those are the areas that you should see the JPS working. So hopefully as I speak, you guys have been, getting or regaining, power. So tomorrow, definitely, or by later on, you should have that. But they're in these areas working. So hopefully, they can sort out these areas pretty quickly to move on to other areas. All right, over back in Kingston and St. Andrew, JPS, they're working in areas or sections of Grand Spend, Templemead, Andrews Pen, Chisholm Avenue, Carpenter Road, Fort Avenue. Is this Jefford Place, Piccadilly, Marasca Road, Port Royal, Industrial Terrace, Palm Beach, Gordon Close, Arnold Road, Jackshill, Upper Musgrave, West Kings House, Ligani Avenue, Aries Avenue, Cavaliers, Penfield, West Kings House Road, Greenwich Road, Torrington Park, Slipen Road, Washington Boulevard, Malines Road, Constant Spring, Cooper's Hill, Hunts Bay, Smoky Vale, Era Circle, Bull Bay, 3 Miles, Terrace Avenue, Agley Park Road, Rockall, Maxwell Park, Eastwood Park, and surrounding areas. So you'll find JPS in these areas, all right? Working. Kingston and St. Andrew there. All right, so let's now go to, let's see what's next here. St. Mary. All right, for St. Mary, JPS, they're working. So today, they're out there working sections of Anata Bay, Fairweather Avenue, Gibraltar, Anata Bay, Oracabessa, Highgate, Cambridge, Harmony Hall, Richmond, Lon Romney, Comsey, Harmony Hall, Richmond Town and surrounding areas, Guysill and surrounding areas, Exchange and surrounding areas, Belfield and surrounding areas, Richmond Town to Richmond Prison, NWC pump that feeds Highgate, Anata Bay Hospital, Ian Fleming Airport, Boscobel Resort. All right, so areas where they're still working there. All right, so again, welcome. Please remember to hit the like button, share button, and the subscription button. All right, so St. Mary, JPS there. Over in St. Catherine, JPS is working in these areas. All right. Duani, Christian Gardens, Nagahead Square to Bridgeview, Elsha area, Morris Meadows to Waterford, Passageford, sections of Portmore, Rodenspen, what is this now? Tregeda? I'm not getting this one at all. Macoupspen, Clifton, Lawrencetown, and surrounding areas. Tredga or Tredegar, I don't know. Tredegar Park, Tredga, I don't know. You can tell me, guys, if you're from Portmore. All right, is that in Portmore, St. Catherine? Hopefully they have that spelled correctly. I can't remember like something like Tredegar Park or something to that effect, but I don't know. Sometimes we pronounce things, we hear them, and that's not necessarily how the place is called or the name is spelled. All right, over in Portland, let's look at some areas here. All right, so sections of Port Antonio, so areas where JPS is working, Anchovy, Rafters Rest, and surrounding areas, Oak Bay Square, Rice Peace Road, Rio Grande Valley, Wayne Road, Fellowship, Grand Spen, and West Retreat. All right, so those areas, JPS working there. All right, over in St. Anne, all right, JPS, they're working in areas or sections of Roaring River, Miami Bay, Richmond, Discovery Bay, Cardiff Hall, Mount Olivet, Salem Flat Point, Bridgewater, Great Pond, Breadnut Hill and surrounding areas, Pineapple Place, James Avenue, Content Gardens, Breadnut Hill, Great Pond and surrounding areas. I guess they doubled up this one. Salem, Chalky Hill, Alexandria, Huntley, Friendship, Dumbarton, Runaway Bay, Mount Edgecombe, Tripoli. All right, so JPS in St. Anne. Over in Manchester, sections of Forest, Kendal, New Green Road, Caledonia Road, Christiana, Spaldings, and surrounding areas. All right, so JPS is also working in Hanover, in Trial, Sandy Bay, and sections of Lucy. All right, so again, guys, welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in, please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. All right, so those are the areas where JPS is currently working. And then we went through the areas where JPS has restored, power. All right, so right now I'm just going to open the phone line. So you can give us a WhatsApp call just to share with us, updates that you may have, or you can share in the live chat. All right, and just to let you know that based on some other updates that we have received, all right, so in areas Clarendon, like over by Junior Crescent, so where they call Junior Gully, still no light, no water. All right, so those areas are without. And also in the Avanites area, the last update that I got, no water, no power. All right. And the connectivity is not good in that area. So that's Avanites area there, in Clarendon, Avanites racetrack area, I suppose. All right. So just to let you know. All right. So again, welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome to this live where we're sharing some updates here from JPS and other updates. Ryan, I'm coming over to you.
Yes, Natasha Lee, thank you for those updates. Really good to hear that, the JPS team is out and working and restoring, electricity to, the people of Jamaica. One thing that I realized though, the parishes that were hit the hardest, they're I'm not hearing lots of work being done
About
there.
St. Elizabeth.
Nothing, very little
No.
about Manchester. I heard you talk about Kendal, Forest, and then up north. But on the south coast, where there is significant damage, I think they are
Oh,
saying that.
Ryan, let me just share.
Right.
There's some updates just coming in right now as you speak. All right, JPS teams have started repair work in St. Elizabeth. All right, so that they can get service back to customers as soon as possible. All right, and they're sharing that the network in St. Elizabeth took a real beating. All right, and but they're trying their best. All right, so just to let you know, this is a critical update. So to all the persons in St. Elizabeth, all right, just to let you know that what JPS is saying is that it may take a while to fully repair the electrical infrastructure, but the teams have started the work. Damage assessment is almost complete and initial repair work has started. All right. And they're saying that the teams will not rest until they get your power back on. And they're just thanking, persons for their patience. So this is why Saint Elizabeth, all right, your repair is pretty much not yet started because what JPS is saying here is that the network took a real beating. All right, Beryl never gone too good with the JPS network in St. Elizabeth. So as a result of that, it's going to take a little bit more time, but they're there. The assessment they share is almost complete and they are pretty much ready in terms of the initial repair work. All right, or the initial repair work has started. So back to you, Rurian.
Yes, Natasha Lee. So good to hear that St. Elizabeth, they have actually started assessing the damage there and doing some repairs. Um, as they rightly said, it's going to take a lot to get back everyone on the grid in that parish. They'll have down lines and all of those to set up. So, not hearing much about those areas. And I'm thinking St. Elizabeth is pretty flat as well. You start
Well, it
getting on that.
depends on where in St. Elizabeth.
For sure, the southern area that I'm familiar with, where lots of farming is done, is pretty flat for the most part. But I think probably that's a reason why it had a lot of damage there. But Category 4 storm, yeah, Category 4 storm is never easy, and I'm hoping that the JPS team will be able to restore, electricity in that part of the island pretty soon. But I'm thinking not necessarily that they're going to try and get, the areas that they can get residents back on the grid quickly. And I guess as soon as those persons are back on the grid, then most of the workers, the teams will be focusing on the areas that which has been badly hit. So I think JPS has a strategy that they are working with, and I'm hoping that they can be really efficient and get the customers up and running really quickly. But as I said before,
Yeah.
not a lot of information about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, and
Well, we got
Manchester.
some from Westmoreland, and there, so since, because I've set this up, earlier this morning, and just to tell you some more areas, and that word that I couldn't call was actually Tredegar. Tredegar. That was the word I believe I was missing there in the St. Catherine. All right, but in terms of Kingston and St. Andrew, I shared that, and they have been expanding. So, for example, if we were to go back to Trelawney, let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. Where did I have Trelawney? Let me just try and find Trelawney. That's areas restored. And did I have Trelawney here in terms of where they're working? I'm just checking here because some of these updates are just coming in. And I guess Trelawney was pretty much in terms of areas restored, all right? But right now, all right, they are also working, all right, in Trelawney, and these are the areas. So Stewart Castle, Springfield, Florence Hall, Clarkstone, Jacksontown, Braco, Rio Bueno, Duncans, Prospect, Spicy Hill, Harmony Hall, Silver Sands, Bounty Hall, Wakesfield, Dumfries, Egg, Martabrae, Zion, Jonestown, Granville, Shaw Castle, and Falmouth. All right, so they're in Falmouth. All right, Falmouth Town. So just to expand that, they're there, working. So while these areas are restored, they're still in the parish. So you'll find JPS right now all over Jamaica, definitely all over Jamaica. And even for Clarendon, all right, what they're saying here for Clarendon, let me just see what's this, all right? What they're sharing here for Clarendon is that they are working, so they expanded some of the areas in Clarendon. Let me just kind of bring this up for you. So they're at Manchester Avenue, Osborne Store, Clarendon Gardens, River Road, Crawl, and sections of Frankfield. So persons in, the Frankfield area, JPS is there working now. So that should be, something. So I suppose by now, Maple Hospital, they perhaps got, back power because I am not seeing Maple Hospital on the revised list. Let me just take this call.
Hello,
Hello,
caller,
caller,
you're
you're
live.
live.
Just a
Just a
moment.
moment.
The
The
call is
call
not
is not
coming
coming
through.
through.
Not coming through. Maybe it's from my head.
No, could you
No, could
just
you
hang
just
up
hang
and
up
just
and just
call back,
call back,
Errol?
Errol?
All right, so we'll just wait for Errol to just call us back. So as I was sharing is that, there's some expansion being done in the context of, what JPS is doing. All right. So again, Clarendon is one such place there. They're now over to Frankfield, sections of Frankfield. All right. And so that will continue. Hello. All right, wonderful. I think you're coming through right now.
You're hearing me better now?
Yes. How are you?
I'm not doing too badly. And yourself?
I'm doing fairly well. I got the opportunity to hear from some family members this morning, so that was good.
Very, very good. Very good. Yes. It's a refreshing feeling. It's a
definitely.
a feeling, what you want when you get you hear that they are okay and so on. You've been thinking about it, have it on your mind, and then finally when you get to realize that they are okay, then of course I know that feeling. Let me say that.
Oh yes. So it's like you just keep the faith and you just hold on, because and they're in Clarendon. So what happened is that they just got a little network connectivity, still without power, but they were able to make the quick connection. So for example, I got like a 3-second voice note, I just got a little connectivity, and that's it. So
where in Clarendon?
so one in the Chapelton area, so Mount Providence area, and
you were telling me Woodall, Mount Providence,
yes, and then in Southwest, so closer to Milk River area.
Yes, because I lived in that area, the Woodall area, for a few years. My mom was a teacher there at the Woodall School, so I lived there for a few years.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you again for the update, for keeping us informed as you get the information to let everyone, meaning those who are in Jamaica and the diaspora, those who are not there, inform them, keeping them informed of what is happening, the updates. I'm grateful. I'm really thankful for that. Good job.
Thank you so much.
What I noticed though is, and I kind of understand why though, the information, the JPS information there, in terms of the work being done, repairs being done. If you notice, most of the repairs being done, those persons who are getting back their power supplies are in the area that were not adversely, or not very, the extent of the damage was not great. Then let me put it that way.
Right, which is understandable.
I don't know. Sorry, you may continue.
Yes, which is understandable.
Yeah. So what they're doing is for those persons who are greatly affected, it's going to take a while. So let's try and repair those who were not badly affected. So hence those who are, those persons, those areas are more to the central and northern section of the island. For those areas located to the southern coast, the South Clarendon, the Manchester, the St. Elizabeth, for the most part. When I looked at a video, I think I had sent it to you, of the extent of the damage in St. Elizabeth. It was really bad. So I know you gave me some information on Clarendon, and I noticed it was just maybe a few areas. Maybe you can count it on one hand. Is that correct?
So, and
you look at the Clarendon again?
They have extended 2 sections of Frankfield as well. So let me
you just named 3 or 4 areas there and I said, wow.
So it's taking time and they're spreading their wings. So at the time when I got this update, right, sections of Frankfield wasn't on it. So right now, Manchester Avenue, Osborne Store, Clarendon Gardens, River Road, Crawl. So Crawl is now included, and sections of Frankfield.
Oh, good. Very good. Crawl is close to me.
Okay.
Close to where I'm from. Yeah, Crawl is close to where I'm from. Okay, good, very good. They're, they have their hands tied there,
Absolutely,
and,
absolutely. And I can imagine too that you may have some JPS workers putting on power for people and their homes are without power. So you can just imagine that.
Okay, yes, because yes, it's on where they are located. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes.
Yes.
At the top of your section here, I didn't get to listen to it because I came on late. Something I need to do better, improve on.
That's okay. Life happens, but life happens. That's okay.
Prime Minister, what he spoke briefly on that, and I gather what you were saying is that he was making people aware that it has to be methodical, and his reason for it has to be strategic. The people will not or will question, because I know in the past there are so many situations in the past, and when you have like this disaster like these, and the repairs are needed, and the funding, whatever agencies are involved. So often, more often than not, you hear of people, the system was it was not well done, and it was politicized, and all of that. And
so that is what he says he's avoiding, because he does not want anybody to label the process as a political one or to label them as being corrupt. And so what he's saying is that it's going to be a system of accountability. So if anybody should come, they should be able to trace, for example, the money that is given back to the beneficiary. So what he's saying is that it's not going to be a free fall, and I'll go back to that video in a little bit so that you can get to see it.
I can get to see it.
Yeah, it's not going to be a free fall, because it's going to go to the persons who need it, and it's going to be a system of accountability. So persons will have to get their IDs, or at least perhaps have a JP to say, okay, this is a person. So if somebody should come and check to say, okay, we want to see what you did with all this money, the system is in place and the system can stand up to any form of scrutiny.
Scrutiny, yes, because as I said in the past, it has been like that for a number of times. Most of the times that's what happens, and we are hoping that that is not the case this time. And I always say that it is for the needy, those who are in need of it. So the needy are not the greedy. It's for the needy and not the greedy.
I like and that. I hope that definitely. Beryl?
Yes. So okay. Yes. Yeah. So I am. Yeah. Yes. I am. I like it. I like that he is making people aware. How that is going to pan out, I don't know, but he has to put system in place to ensure that if that is so, it is kept to a minimum, where the people don't go around and say it's politicized, and people who should not get, who are benefiting, and people are using. Because as I said before, I've been around, I've seen quite a number of hurricane disasters, quite a few of them, and they have always, just about every time, that what comes out of it. And people, I have personally heard people who brag and boast how they got this and they weren't, and I realized they weren't supposed to get it. So I am hoping that he's not only talk, but he will walk the walk and do what is needed, and ensure that those who are in need of it get it, and not the greedy. The needy and not the greedy.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And people just need to be honest. That's it. Bottom line.
Yes, but Yes, you are expecting that, but since it's not so, you have to put system in place to not rely on them only because of honesty, because that will be through the door if you're going to rely on that only. We're hoping that that will be the case, but also you have a contingency to, in the lack of honesty, then you have something to roll back on, and don't rely totally on honesty, because that is perception.
Get you for sure.
All right, so I've been listening to you. I'm going back to the chat, and thanks for allowing me to share my piece.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks, Errol, for calling in. Let me just, Carol, welcome. And Saint Elizabeth. So, Carol, I just shared about Saint Elizabeth. So let me just bring that back up to share with you in the chat. So what JPS is saying, and I'm just trying to get back to that information there. Just give me a few seconds here to just pull that back up, because based on what we have been seeing, right? They're not yet in, St. Elizabeth, but they did say that it's going to take them a little bit of time in terms of, the work that is required to be done in St. Elizabeth. Why am I not? Okay, here we go. So what they're saying here is that it may take a while to fully repair the electrical infrastructure, all right, in St. Elizabeth, but the teams have started the work. Damage assessment is almost complete and initial repair work has started. All right, so that's the update for St. Elizabeth. And, what JPS is also sharing is that the network in St. Elizabeth took a real beating, all right? And so in that context, they're saying it's going to take, I guess, a little bit of time to get the service back to customers, all right? But they're going to do their best to get that as soon as possible. All right, so again, St. Elizabeth, I'm yet to hear from my family members in St. Elizabeth. And so I definitely understand, how you feel, Carol. And so again, we're here, and that is why we have this space. So as soon as we get some updates, we just share, here. So you can always check here, or if you're over on WhatsApp, I share links and, just, some messages at times, and, just ensuring that, persons can have that access to information. All right. So again, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button as we continue to grow stronger together. All right, so let me just go back to the Prime Minister, all right, video there, where he was sharing about, how, they're planning on doing the relief, the hurricane relief. But I guess before we go to that one, let's just look at what he did in terms of his prelim assessment, just like flying over and trying to get a sense of what is happening in the country.
We took off from Upper Camp, which gave us an opportunity to see Kingston Harbour and possibly a little bit into the Bull Bay area. What we saw was some amount of impact from storm surges. And you can see that by some amount of flooding on the coastal areas, but not flooding to the point of significant damage. So Kingston was largely spared. We started to see damage to residents when we started to enter areas like Old Harbour and Alligator Pond and here, where I was literally counting in Great Bay and the general Treasure Beach area about 100 homes that suffered roof damage. And then being on the ground, you get to see another dimension of the damage, which would be the fallen poles, trees, and some roads that are blocked. Now, for the residents who live in these areas who are inconvenienced and displaced and dislocated, this is serious, and the government will act in a speedy way to assist the recovery process. But from a national level, I think Jamaica was spared the worst. We were hit by a Category 4 hurricane. It would appear to me that the damage would be less than what we expected from a Category 4 hurricane. So I think we were spared, and I think all Jamaicans should be giving a collective thank you.
And okay, so let us now move on to the next video from the Prime Minister in the context of the hurricane relief.
We took off from Upper Camp, which gave us an opportunity to see Kingston. In the past, there has been a less than structured way in the delivery of emergency relief. And that has led to criticisms about the transparency, even accusations of political bias in the dispensation and distribution of relief to needy citizens. It would be a real travesty if such criticisms were made, having regard to our track record in COVID, where we distributed the largest care package in the history of Jamaica, and there has not even been one complaint about any form of political bias. So I want to assure Jamaica that whatever we do, there must be systems of accountability and transparency. There is a culture that is deeply embedded in some of our people, where there is the expectation that public resources should just be given, and there shouldn't be any system and process of accountability. Now, I understand that we are in an emergency, but an emergency does not suspend the need for accountability and transparency. So even in an emergency situation, there will be a process. And I'm saying this for the benefit of the members of parliament, of the technical officers in the ministry, and for the beneficiaries themselves who will be eagerly awaiting the public benefit. We don't intend to be called up in parliament by the specified authorities to say that funds were not spent in accordance with the law. Then we are accused of being corrupt, with no mention that there was an emergency. And so we don't intend to go down that road. So there will be a process for any benefit, no matter how small it is, that will be given in a relief package, which means that anyone receiving a benefit must put their signature down for it. There must be a valid ID for it, or somebody to vouch for the identity of the person. So whatever the government allocates, we must be able to trace every cent to the beneficiary. It mustn't end up in anyone else's pocket who was not the intended beneficiary. Now, these things may add layers to the process, and it may take time, but it is absolutely important for the stability and strengthening of our democracy and accountability that this be done. And so I just want to put that out there for everyone who may be expecting a free-for-all. There will be no free-for-all in the dispensation and distribution of public resources in the relief process.
All right, so the Prime Minister there, sharing again in the context of the relief process and, what will be happening in that context. And so, no free for all. There's going to be a system of accountability, and that is what he's emphasizing. Oddly welcome, Ruben, welcome. All right, so guys, as you enter, please hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. And so, all right, thanks, Ruben. So what I'm going to do before I close out then, Lilith, welcome. All right, and all right, Lilith, I see your comment. I see your comment, but I understand the views, but we want to get the recovery process on its way. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a recap, just quickly review the places where JPS has restored the power and where they're working. All right. So just to share that context with you again, for those of us who perhaps are just tuning in. So please remember to hit the like button the share button and the subscription button, and you can share this YouTube link with persons who you believe, it would help in terms of just having this access to the information. All right. And let's just try and go back there. And we're going to start out with areas, all right, that JPS has restored power to. But before we get there, Rurian, do you have anything you'd like to share?
Yes, Natasha, I just want to welcome everyone who is here with us. Some important information you have shared there. And, Errol, as usual, adding some gems to the conversation, needy over greedy. And, that's something that will stick with me throughout the rest of this period. Really well said there by Errol. Some good points raised and discussed. And, we're just happy to see that, there are so many JPS teams out in different parishes, and we're hoping that they can get, the restoration job done quickly as it relates to electricity. But all in all, I want to thank everyone for being here. And remember to hit the like button, the subscription button if you haven't done so, and turn your post notification on. Over to you, Natasha.
All right, thank you so much. So now let's go back to some of the areas, all right, where JPS has restored power. All right. And if you're in the chat and your area has gotten power and you haven't heard the name here, so let us know too, so that we can, add that to our list here as we try to share information with everyone so that, we can get ease our minds, because for some of us, we're not able to connect with family members and friends, and so at least you get a sense, okay, they're without electricity, they're doing okay, and soon I'll get the opportunity to hear from them. So that helps. All right, so in St. James, sections of Bogue, and then we want to pay attention to sections. So even though it might say Bogue, it may not mean that every person in Bogue or every household in Bogue has received electricity, because I am paying attention to this keyword here, sections of, all right? So St. James, sections of Bogue, Freeport up to Lagoons, Fairfield, Tucker, Kerwin, Montego Bay Town, West Green, Retirement, Unity Hall, Great River, Private, Alice Eldemeyer Drive. All right, so that's what I have there for St. James. All right, and over to St. Thomas, as you can see on screen here, power has been restored to sections of Belvedere, Friendship, Belfast, Morant Bay, Church Corner, sections of Retreat, White Horses, Whitehall, Ponside, sections of Yallas, Prospect to Portmorant, Seaford to Soho, Whitehall, Golden Valley, Middleton, Spring Garden, Summit, Highbury, Logan Lane, Roselle, and South Haven. All right. Again, welcome if you're just tuning in. And over to Kingston St. Andrew. All right. Power has been restored to sections of Old Hope Road, sections of Shortwood Road, Barbican, Norbrook, East Kings Road, Graham Heights, Golden Springs, Stony Hill, Oak Ridge, Armor Heights, Lakers, Stillwell Road, Manor Park, Constant Spring, Avondale, Plymouth, sections of Cherry Gardens, Long Lane, Jackshill, Queen Hill, sections of Temple Hall, Duane Park, sections of Mona, Beverly Hills, and Long Mountain. I said Queen Hill already, Sterling Castle, Red Hills, Shortwood Road, Oliver Road, Millsboro, Papine, UTEC, Gardentown Road, Rampton Drive, Deanery Road, Piccadilly, Marasca Road, including Ministry of Health and NWC, Ministry of Education, Orange Street, and Newport. All right, and let's go to Trelawney. And Trelawney had, or perhaps expansion in the context of where they're working, but just give me a little bit here. Let me just see to make sure that I am good there. All right, so I guess it's just working. All right, so Trelawney, Stuart Castle, Springfield, Florence Hall, Clarkstone, Jacksontown, Braco, Rio Bueno, Duncans, Prospect, Spicy Hill, Harmony Hall, Silversand. So those areas, JPS has restored power to those areas in Trelawney. All right, over to St. Catherine. Sections where power has been restored: Spanish Town, so St. John's Road, Job Lane, Beacon Hill, St. Jago Heights, Thompson, Sligoville, Waterloo District, Greendale, Old Harbour Town, Marley Mount, Gutters, Old Harbour Bay, Bushy Park, Springville, New Harbour Village 1, 2, and 3, Claremont Heights, Charlemont Gardens, Roan Park, Bannister Road, Red Ground, sections of Bartons, Colbeck, Borders, Big Lane, New Harbour Village, Old Harbour Square, Claremont Heights, Darlington Avenue, Old Harbour Glades, Greater Portmore, Brayton, Westport, Port Endison Road, Bridgeview, Passage Fort, the commercial complex of Port Endison Road, Bridgeport, Edgewater, and Passage Fort. All right, commercial complex of Port Endison Road supply up to Megamart, Waterford, Portsmouth, Westchester, Independence City, Newlands Road, Cumberland, Garveymead, Westmead, Southborough, Grange Lane, Portmore Town Centre, Dyke Road, and Cedar Manor. All right, again, welcome. So St. Catherine, those are the areas restored in St. Catherine. Over there in Portland, Hope Bay, Orange Bay, Buff Bay, and Harthill. In St. Mary, Itaboril, hopefully I'm getting that correctly, Anata Bay Town leading to the Anata Bay Hospital, Highgate Town to Ranchill, Highgate to sections of Port Maria, all right, such as Lon Romney, Comsey, and Harmony Hall, Boscobel to Ocean Ridge, includes the Boscobel Resort and sections of Richmond Town. All right, over in Clarendon, Palmer's Cross, you should be shining bright like a diamond. So as the Bustamante Highway, Bodles, Penn, and Freetown. All right, so those places, power has been restored. All right, let's go to some place where JPS, they are working. And before I get to St. Thomas, I just want to share that JPS, all right, as it relates to St. Elizabeth, all right, what JPS is sharing is that the teams have started repair work in St. Elizabeth, all right, so that they can get service back to the customers as soon as possible. However, they want you to know that the network in St. Elizabeth took a real beating. All right. So Beryl did it really bad. All right. And so what they're saying, it may take a while to fully repair the electrical infrastructure in St. Elizabeth, but the teams have started the work. Damage assessment is almost complete and initial repair work has started in St. Elizabeth. All right. So just to let you know that. So where are they working today? So as of today, all right, JPS, they're working in sections of, so St. Thomas, sections of Soho, South Haven, Phillip Avenue, Top Hill, Needham Pen, Punciana, Bath, Whiteheld, Spring Garden, Middleton, Dumfries, Summit, Nuts River, Duane Pen, Lloyd's, Newlands, Paradise, Landuani, License, Leach Road, Trinityville, Prospect 10, Main Road, and surrounding areas. All right. Over in Clarendon, all right, so JPS is working in the following areas: Manchester Avenue, Osborne Store, Clarendon Gardens, River Road, Maypen Hospital, and I suspect Maypen Hospital is back with power by now, but they're also in Crawl and sections of Frankfield. All right, so those two areas are not there, so they have updated the list. They're also in sections of Crawl and sections of Frankfield. All right, so JPS are there working in those areas. Westmoreland, as it relates to Westmoreland, all right, JPS, as you can see here, they're working in Savannah Lamar, so they're working to get the hospital there up and running. Roaring River to Great River Pumps, Paradise to Darling Street, Landilo to Kingswood. So let me just check to see if there are any further updates here for Westmoreland. And just checking here. No, I'm not seeing any more updates. So that's what we have. All right, for Westmoreland. All right, Kingston and St. Andrew. So JPS, they're working in sections of Grand Spen, Templemead, Andrews Spen, Chisholm Avenue, Carpenter Road, Port Avenue, Jefford Place, Piccadilly Marasca Road, Port Royal, Industrial Terrace, Palm Beach, Garden Close, Arnold Road, Jackshill, Upper Musgrave, West Kings House, Ligani Avenue, Aries Avenue, Cavaliers, Penfield, West Kings House Road, Greenwich Road, Torrington Park, Slipen Road, Washington Boulevard, Mollines Road, Constant Spring, Coopersdale, Ons Bay, Smoky Vale, Eros Circle, Bull Bay, 3 Miles, Terrence Avenue, Agley Park Road, Rock Hall, Maxwell Park, Eastwood Park, and surrounding areas. All right, so those are the areas for Kingston and St. Andrew. Over in St. Mary, where JPS is working, so in sections of Anata Bay, Fairweather Avenue, Gibraltar, Anata Bay, Aracabessa, Highgate, Cambridge, Harmony Hall, Richmond, Lon Romney, come see Harmony Hall, Richmond Town and surrounding areas, Guysdale and surrounding areas, Exchange and surrounding areas, Belfield and surrounding areas, Richtown to Richmond Prison, and the NWC pump that feeds Highgate, Anata Bay Hospital, Ian Fleming Airport, and Boscobel Resort. All right, let me just quickly look in the chat here. I see your comment there. Oddly, I have no doubt that this government is going, I guess, to handle the situation well. I guess that's what. Welcome, Dreamy. Sophia, I'm not too sure what that is meaning there. Soon get to Manchester. Donovan, welcome. Take a little time. I'll get to Manchester. I'll tell you the areas in a little bit. Probably it's up next. Who knows? All right. So in terms of St. Catherine, all right, so JPS, they're working in these areas: Duane, Christian Gardens, Naggerhead Square to Bridgeview, Elsha area, Morris Meadows to Waterford, Passageford, sections of Portmore, Rodens Pen, and Tredegar. Oh my God, I was just tumbling on this earlier. Tredegar, Macook's Pen, Clifton, Lawrencetown, and surrounding areas. All right, so over to Portland, where JPS is still working, sections of Port Antonio, Anchovy, Rafters Rest, and surrounding areas, Oak Bay Square, Rice Peace Road, Rio Grande Valley, Wayne Road, Fellowship, Grand Pen, West Retreat. All right, so St. Anne, JPS still working in sections of Roaring River, Miami Bay, Richmond Discovery Bay, Cardiff All, Mount Olivet, Salem Flat Point, Bridgewater, Great Pond, Breadnut Hill and surrounding areas, Pineapple Place, James Avenue, Content Garden, Great Pond and surrounding areas. All right, Salem, Chalky Hill, Alexandria, Huntley, Friendship, Dumbarton, Runaway Bay, Mount Edgecombe, and Tipoli. Over in Manchester, all right, so this is where JPS is working, as you can see here on screen right now. Sections of Porous. All right, so JPS there in sections of Porous, Kendall, New Green Road, Caledonia Road, Christiana, Spaldings, and surrounding areas. Let me just check to see if they have anything else on there for Chester. No, pretty much the same update. Over in Anova, JPS, they're working in Trial, Sandy Bay, and sections of Lucy. All right, again, guys, welcome, welcome. You're here. Please remember to hit the like button. All right, subscription button. Kenroy, welcome. So hit the like button, man, subscription button, and share. So we're just pretty much getting to the end of it, and that's it, guys. That's it. That's it. So, Kenroy, you're asking about Knockpatrick. So this is where, just look at the screen. This is where JPS, there are sections of Porous, Kendall, New Green Road, Caledonia Road, Christiana, Spaldings, and surrounding areas. All right. So not seeing anything for those areas that you're asking about. So I suspect that they're not, that they're not there just yet. All right. So tomorrow they will put out like another update. I don't know if I can set this up on YouTube for it to just go for a bit. So if persons just want to just pop in and pop out, where I perhaps can have music playing and the slides going, where I am not necessarily here talking, but persons can get the opportunity to see what is happening. Or you guys can just share this live too. But I'll try to do that. So if persons want to just come in and look, they can get that opportunity as well. I'll see how it works. All right. And you're definitely welcome, Henroy. All right. Ruran, do you have any updates you'd like to share before we sign off here? All
No,
right,
not
so
actually.
okay, go ahead.
Not having any updates in particular. I heard a little bit about South Manchester, still out of electricity. They're down to one lane traffic in some areas, but persons have started to traverse, which is always a good sign. So lots of damage there, but persons are slowly getting back to normal. Nothing really else to report on as it relates to Jamaica. So that's it from this side. That's actually back over to you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ruran. And thanks to everyone who was tuned in, all right, in the context of these updates. And we'll try our best to see, how we can continue to provide you with, updates. All right, Kenroy, you're watching from Miami Beach. All right, wonderful. Hello to you over there. All right. And so again, we'll try to do that as best as we can. All right. Continue to stay safe, everyone, and continue to keep well. And as best as you can, just keep trying. Or eventually, I know by now that your family members know that you want to hear from them. So as soon as they get the opportunity to reach out, That's what they'll do. And once you get updates, you can share with me over there on WhatsApp. That would be fantastic so that, we can also share with the rest of the community, each one else one. All right. I just want to say, again, with Christ in the vessel, we can definitely smile at the storm. And, we just want to just, give this some time. A lot has happened and it's going to take some time. It's a process. And, we just want to ensure that, we have that some patience in terms of navigating this process. Kenroy, where is your family? I don't know if we have any information on that area, but if you'd like to just share quickly in the chat, we could perhaps see what we know about that area and share with you. Thanks, Kenroy. I really appreciate it. So, Kenroy, they're sharing good job reporting. So, I'm just waiting for Kenroy's response. Hopefully, that comes. Yes, so as I was saying, it's a process. It's going to take a little bit of time. And, we're going to get there. We're going to get through this together. But, we just want to ensure that we're encouraging family members when there are advisories in terms of the possibility of flooding. And if there's a curfew, they just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. We want to ensure that, we're all safe and we're not losing our family members and friends. All right. And so, that is definitely important. We want to be safe at all times. All right. Safety trumps everything else. We don't need to be going out to look at something, or if we have to move, we're thinking about the bed or the dresser or the fridge. Your safety is definitely important. All right, so not seeing Kenroy sharing. Okay, you said one love to Jamaica, one love to you too. I was asking you, Kenroy, where in Jamaica is your family? Oh, Cedar Grove and Knockpatrick. So, Rurian, Cedar Grove is in St. Catherine. I don't know, Knockpatrick is
No,
in
I
Manchester.
think Cedar Grove is close by to
Manchester as well.
NCU heading south. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
and okay, so Kenroy, based on what we know in terms of south, down that side, they're out of power. And so that's the situation why you're not hearing from your family members, all right? So I guess that is going to be an area that they're going to look at very soon, given that NCU is located in that area, not Patrick. So I guess they will work on it. So that's what we know in that general area, going back to Cross Keys and, South Manchester, they're without power at this time. All right. So again, thank you so much, guys. Please remember to close the X at the top of the live chat button there. Close the X and press the thumbs up button and also that subscription button. And let us continue to grow stronger together. And please share this link with persons. A lot of persons would like to have this update, in terms of just having access to this information. So please consider sharing. All right. And we'll see you in the next live when we're doing this update. I know that tomorrow we should be on the track for a Diamond League race. So we'll see what happens. But, continue to take care and remember to exercise self-care and continued blessings and love. And I will see you in the next live. Bye for now, everyone.